as part of its commitment to the development of the private sector and Nigerian economy at large. The Lagos Business School hosted an inaugural Family Business Conference. Facilitated by the LBS-Family Business Initiative, the conference discussed the theme From Family Enterprise to Family Institution, Climbing the Longevity Ladder. In their separate remarks, the Dean of Lagos Business School, Professor Chris Ogbechi, and Dr. Oke Unwuke, the Director of LBS Family Business Initiative, provided insights into the essence of the event and the value of family-owned businesses to the economy.
We are deeply passionate about family businesses because we know that most businesses in Nigeria owned by Nigerians are family businesses. And all over the world, family businesses have contributed significantly to the economic growth of countries. Most of the multinationals we see and hear about are family businesses. Ford Motors, Nestle, Samsung, Sony, Heineken, L'Oreal. What do we have in Nigeria to match this? Where are the Odutola tires, the Ojuku transport, the Okadas, Arik? What happened to them? These are issues that Family Business Initiative at Lagos Business School will be tackling and see how we can, as much as possible, help family businesses go beyond the first generation, second generation, and even the 10th generation. We recognize the unique challenges faced by family-owned enterprises. Despite their contribution, statistics show that only about 30% of Nigerian family businesses thrive past the first generation. And this has been proven empirically by various research studies, including one carried out by the Nigerian Stock Exchange on family businesses. This highlights the critical need for tailored support to ensure that these family businesses go beyond several generations and become household organizations in Nigeria and in Africa. So these statistics underscore the resilience and enduring legacy of family businesses in our society. However, they also highlight the need for continuous learning and adaptation to ensure sustained success in an ever-changing business landscape. Distinguished guests, today marks a significant milestone in our commitment to fostering the success of family-owned businesses in Nigeria. Through this conference and future initiatives, we aim to provide targeted programs, facilitate knowledge sharing, and promote research to create a vibrant ecosystem where family businesses in Nigeria flourish across generations.
What is my own with family businesses? I don't have a family business, and I was not lucky to inherit one from my parents. However, I believe I call myself someone that has a vested interest in the family business. I was a banker for, call it 23 years actively. And during those days, daily days in banking, I was privileged to work as a lender, a relationship manager, call it anything, with a lot of successful family businesses. However, towards the end of my active banking career, 23 years after, I was alarmed that many of such businesses that were hitherto very thriving and successful had become mere shadows of their former selves. In fact, many of them had actually gone out of business. The issues such as incapacitation of the founder, age, debt, management issues, conflict in the family, and etc. Threaten the survival of these businesses. And I was able to contrast that with what I see and read whether in banking or general finance and management, about family business that have lasted longer than 100 years, 200, 300. In fact, there's a particular family business in Asia, in Japan in particular, that is still over 1,000 years today and still thriving. And for those of us that watch CNN, you see 100-Year Club, which basically talks about businesses that have celebrated 100, 200, 300. I mean, many of us, the tea we have, the British Earl Grey, it's over 300 years, and it's still the same tea, maybe evolving over time. Now, so I was able to, this realization that a lot of other business schools in other climes have gone beyond generations, created some, motivation in me to try to find out what can be done differently. Is there any other thing that we can do to ensure that our own family businesses could also have the same history? And again, joining with LBS and now Family Business Initiative, we now believe that that's something we can do that will make a difference. So through this conference, we want to see how we can navigate that delicate balance between tradition and innovation that confront the family businesses. Now, during the conference also, we have the opportunity of presenting two surveys. One that was conducted by LBS and administered on family businesses in Nigeria, and another that was conducted by McKinsey. The senior partner is there, Dr. Achaleke, who will be presenting that, which was administered on family businesses globally. We might see, the idea we should be able to see the link between the issues that are thrown up by these two surveys. So I'm confident that today's discussion will offer invaluable insights and solutions to the challenges that face African family businesses.
Delivering the keynote, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, the chairman and CEO of the Chair Center, listed visionary leadership, upholding values, getting the right talent, and having effective governance structures as key components for transitioning family-owned enterprises to institutions.
I think the first question to ask ourselves is, what do we call a family business? What is the enterprise and what is the institution? Because a lot of times, especially in our climate, we tend to think that if we're building a family business and it will remain to be called a family business, then it must be managed by family members. But I was just having a chat with Enase now, the Vice Chancellor of Pan Atlantic University, and I said to her, the institution and the individuals, they're different. Every business has a visioner, someone who puts the seed in the ground, someone who starts the vision and watches it grow. But there's a stage at which it is irrelevant whether there are any members of the family in the business at all. Because you can build a business that is owned by the family, but is not family managed, because they're two different things. That the business is managed by members of your family is different from the fact that it's family owned. And there are many businesses around the world that are global, and maybe today, the people who run it are not. In fact, the gentleman said something about Okeowunka enterprise as compared to Ford. Ford and Okeowunka are the same, because they're organizations named after individuals. But it's about what they have become and how they are run and they're established. So how do we go beyond the profit? It starts from the vision. What is the vision in the heart of the guy who started the business? And what is the vision that is established even as the business is being transited through different seasons? What is important? Because a lot of times we do not have clarity about why we started the business in the first place. Is it just to make money? Is it to provide for our family? Is it to keep our family name in the public eye as having done something? Or is it to build an institution that will create value for all times? Because depending on what your actual goal is, your line of action is different. The kind of decisions that you make is different. So it's the same reason as with partnerships, because there are also many family businesses that are partnerships. because they have partners that are investors in the business even from the beginning. But we don't spend enough time to clarify that we all want the same thing from the business. There are partnerships that are husband and wife, that are family businesses, that are spousal partners. But the question also is always, do we want the same thing? Some people just want to build a great name. Some just want to make money. If you want to make money, anything and everything is good, as long as it makes you money. If you just want your name to be popular, then you spend all your time with visibility and the noise making and all of that. Because that's your vision, that's what you want to sell. But if you want to build an institution, even from day one, you will pay attention to details. You will be clear about where you want to go. And that clarity is mobile in itself. Because over time, circumstances, environment will reshape, but your core vision will remain. And if you're able to clear that up, you will make the right decisions for the business at the right time. Now, a business that you set out from the onset to build, to become an institution, which means your goal is that it will outlive you. You will not run it with a sense of this is Nigeria. You can do anything. You can do it anyhow. Because it's the reason also many businesses have not transited generations. They were not structured to transit generations.
The event featured 2 panel sessions, Navigating Succession Dynamics in African Family Businesses, Balancing Tradition and Innovation, an insight on African family businesses, a candid conversation. It was also an opportunity to present 2 surveys from the Lagos Business School and McKinsey on the trends and development around family-owned businesses and formal launch of the LBS-Family Business Initiative. Dr. Oke Unke and some of the business leaders and entrepreneurs speak further on the theme of the event and their impression of the maiden LBS-Family Business Conference.
Part of our program is, first of all, launch out this, create more awareness within the environment about how serious, SBS is taking this initiative. Some people have asked us that, how it is different from other one-off conferences and seminars that have taken place. But what you tell them no is different. This conference is not one-off. It's not just one item. It's just a beginning of a program that been lined up. And that's the reason why we did a survey, to have a foundation of getting feedback directly from the family businesses to know exactly the issue they face. Now, with that, we are now able to create programs that will attend to all those issues. We have one already mapped out in May. We started May 21st. We were a 4-day program, but it's going to be virtual. So family businesses that are keen, are interested, having heard from what we've done today, should be able to register. But that one they have to pay. Today nobody paid for it. So we thank our sponsors, including ProShare. But for that particular one, people are going to pay. Now, we believe that prospect is a lot more positive. People did not have the opportunity of what you saw today in the past. And so people are going to be doing different things, learning how to do, focus on transition, not just my child or my family. You want to run a good business. That should be the objective. So, and then the more people know, we believe the more they take better and different decisions. We believe that for the initiative that we have set up, it will become a center, ultimately, which is an autonomous center that will be an affiliate of LBS. But as it is today, being nurtured by LBS, but as we get more and more traction, which we believe will happen, we are going to see an improvement. In the next 10 years, if you do this conference, most of the businesses you see today would have grown. And not just growing and dying, grown and sustain their growth, which enables others to latch on that.
What are the key takeaways from here that will help re-engineer the business and make it sustain?
For me, I took away 4 things. 1, the importance of vision, having an overarching vision that helps dictate your strategies and everything that you want to do. It's very important. Talent. So hiring the right people that believe in that vision. And 3, having the financial resources, leveraging your capital, your human capital. And then 4, family, just believing that you can actually do it, and understanding your core principles and values and not shying away from that at all. So those are the 4 major things that I took away. I thought the session was very, very helpful. I got to learn from a lot of different people. And then just seeing that it's actually possible to actually grow and scale your business in this economy, Nigeria, was just so very impactful.
First of all, it's very important to have appropriate structures in place on day one. So for us, when we started on day one, we had a board in place. The board included people we knew, we respected, that were willing to give their time to a small business. That helped create a governance structure that we were responsible for and reported to. We're also very clear in the beginning what each of our roles were. We even had employment contracts in place for ourselves. So it's very important at the very beginning to have these structures in place to guide how you interact, who does what, and who you report to, i.e. the board in term. And I think that most people want to wait until the company has grown before they put these things in place. But in our view, it is very critical to have this in place on day one for the long-term success of the company.
Now, if you want the company to outlive you, then you have to have structures and processes. So that's so important. First, you must have structures. Now, when you now have structures, to be able to follow up on those structures and processes, then you don't have to go for your son, your daughter. For example, now, me, I don't have any son. So if you're talking about first son, me, I don't have. Meanwhile, I'm in a business that is male-dominated. So how did I navigate it? So that's what I've been talking about. So you must be willing to bring in somebody from outside. Or you must also, train your children. They might be interested, but if they're not interested, don't force them. Because if you force them, you're going to destroy the business. And when you destroy the business, employees go jobless, your vendors go jobless, So it's important that you hand over the business to the best candidate to run. Well, there are some times that you might have to balance family and competence. For example, if I have somebody in the family who's 80% competent and is interested, I'll probably pick that person over somebody who's 100% competent because that person will be loyal to the family. But it's important you don't go and bring somebody who has 30% competence and you choose that person over somebody else who's 100% competent. I don't think that will run for a business.
Talking about governance, as I stated, the panel, the family governance is well structured and the corporate governance is well structured. That's the investment. Is a pillar of sustainability. No governance, no sustainability. And when you look at all the South Africa companies, they are non-executive and independent directors in any of the subsidiaries. Actually, they are more than the executives. And the independents are carefully selected to be able to bring the voice of reason and help ownership and management see their blind spot. And we are doing this because we want the businesses to be around even far longer than what you have said, 100 years, 200 years. That's it.
According to research carried out by the Nigerian Exchange, 30% of family-owned businesses in Nigeria make it through the first generation, while only 10% make it to the third generation. The Lagos Business School Family Business Initiative seeks to address this challenge through capacity building, skills development, innovation, and governance that will position family-owned businesses in Nigeria to achieve scale and sustainability.